Good morning, friends. So today I'm back again with one of the very important and interesting aspects of astrology, like how each of the houses contribute to your analysis, and also the various signs, whether in any way they have any linkages to these houses. So we will see and we will try to interpret and appreciate how your birth chart behaves for you. So this video will be a very good understanding for people who are not able to do basic prediction, and they can just open their chart and do the prediction, and you will be surprised that most of these, many aspects of astrology can be easily understood provided you have basic understanding. So without any much delay, let's go to the chart and see how we are able to link these aspects. So what we're going to do today is try to analyze the various signs, that is from Mesha to Pisces, from Aries to Pisces. Along with all the 12 signs, we will try to see each of those houses and try to correlate, do they have anything which we need to understand, and possibly we will have to link it to have a better understanding. So on the left side, I have drawn a typical North Indian chart with some 9 planets positioned in a particular place. We'll come to that. And also, in the right side, what I'm trying to explain is each of these houses try to say something about you. Now, your birth chart is kind of a complete, diagnosis of what your life is going to be. So that can range from, your bodily parts, what your life is in store for you, and how, these various signs of houses are going to explain the position for you. So there are many ways you can read this chart, but fundamentally these are some basic aspects which you should be aware of before even trying to understand what is going to happen. So without wasting much delay, let's quickly run through these 12 houses and then do some interesting analysis how these houses correlate to your planets. So the first house, so the right side chart is basically a South Indian chart and the left side chart is a North Indian chart. So the only difference is in the South Indian chart, the houses comes in a clockwise direction. That is, you can see the first house, which is here, and there is a second house here, third house. So you move in clockwise direction. Whereas if you come to the North Indian chart, the first house is here, the second house is on the left side, third house. So you go in anti-clockwise direction. So that is the only difference. Otherwise, the prediction and everything is going to be the same. So coming back to the right side chart, which is the South Indian chart, but it is applicable to any kind of chart, provided you get the first house right. First house is your Lagna, basically. And what it says is, it talks about your self, appearance, body, how you see your life path. That is your first house. So the second house is basically a house of income, wealth, family life, your food and drinking habits, speech. It denotes your teeth, teaching, various kind of, your vocal kind of, chords are being denoted by these. The third house is basically for your younger siblings, competition, skills, and maybe short trips. And also sales personalities can also be derived from the third house. Fourth house is for mother and your emotional life, real estate, houses, vehicles, and also for your academic degrees, predominantly degrees of undergraduation. Okay, so you always see your fourth house, how you're going to perform. Fifth house is house of children, creativity, spiritual practice. So the fifth house talks about that. Sixth house is house of enemies, litigation, and also some kind of digestion. and also the victory over, your enemies. That is also denoted by sixth house. Now coming to the seventh house, it's exact opposite of first house. Like the seventh aspect, it is house of your relationship, your spouse, and also business partners. It also talks about your foreign trade and your foreign, country, basically home and foreign country. Eighth house talks about your, your spouse's, resources. It also talks about your in-laws, and it also talks about your career change, your, it's also the sexual attractiveness. It also talks about, occult sciences, basically like these kind of astrology, some mystic science, all these things, or any kind of big researchers, you'll see eighth house becomes very important. Ninth house is always about higher education and some pilgrimage trips, guru, and also, there are few people who talk about father, and, other aspects based on ninth house. 10th house talks about your career success. It's basically predominantly career, your reputation, also your father. So, this is little debatable, but, what it means is basically, uh, it's opposite of fourth house, so fourth house is mother and 10th house is father. So there is some kind of logic to this as well. And also your visible actions, karma, whatever you want to do. So 11th house is about your eldest sibling. It talks about your eldest sibling, and also the winnings, gains from various kind of your investments, and also from your job, career. What are the incomes? In 12th house, you all know it is for a, it's about faraway lands. How far you're, say for example, from your destination, from your home, you go very far away from the existing place. And also it talks about imprisonment, hospitals, other aspects, and also your expenses, predominantly the expenses, how you expend your, money. So, if you see, all these 12 houses have some significance to you at some stages of your life. So you need to look at your, placement of planets and see how the predictions happen. Now coming to the left side chart, you also have, I've marked all these 9 planets at various places. So if you have been watching the video carefully, you can understand that all these planets are exalted positions at various, rashis. Like sun gets exalted in Aries, moon gets exalted in Taurus, in the nakshatra of Rohini. So all these planets, have some kind of a significance why they are getting exalted at these places. If you see, in a way, your self appearance, body, and about yourself, it talks about self-esteem and other things. So sun is a denoter in some way or the other. So your sun is well positioned, you get the entire benefits of this first house. And I will not explain all the planets. So few planets I'll explain. So Venus. So Venus is placed in the 12th house. So Venus gets exalted, in Pisces. Suppose, say for example, somebody has Venus in 12th house. This is basically a place where Venus really shines excellently. I mean, he is known for having comforts, and a lot of enjoyment, pleasure, bedly pleasure, all those things. So someone with a Venus in 12th house will have a lot of expenses, but at the same time, they will also do enjoy life to the maximum. So this is like all the planets like Mars and Capricorn, it gets exalted here. So this is one of the best places for Mars. As Ketu in Sagittarius and Rahu in Gemini. So in Mithun, basically, Gemini is Mithun in Sanskrit and in Hindi. So Sagittarius is basically Dhanur Rashi, basically in Sanskrit, and so Ketu is basically does very well in Dhanur Rashi. So 4th house is again Jupiter. It denotes Matsukaraka. Jupiter generally denotes your mother. So 4th house in Cancer is again Jupiter's best position in the chart. 6th house for Mercury. So this is a surprise package. Not many may agree this aspect of it, but it gets exalted in Virgo. Actually, if you see between Mithun and Virgo, both are its own signs, but we also say Virgo is the exalted sign of Mercury because Mercury really does well when it's placed in Virgo. and it gives you a lot of benefits which placed here. Seventh house, again, it's a lot of a lot of basically Libra is the lot of this sign, and see, so, pardon me, Libra is the sign, and Saturn is basically exalted here. So again, there is some debate, but again, Saturn does excellently if placed in the seventh house. Of course, there could be some delays, but at the end of it, this is one of the best positions for Saturn as well in Libra. So these are the aspects which I would like to say that is very interesting. So you can take out your chart and see the position of these planets. So even if they are placed in enemy signs or in some kind of bad positions, this general position of planets have been giving good results. So I have strong records, strong experience seeing people's chart, and generally people are greatly benefited by this position of planets. So you can see, if suppose Jupiter is well placed and your fourth house denotes emotional life, real estate, and other activities. So all these benefits you get depending upon. Of course, the effects vary if it is a Neecha Rashi, Ucha Rashi, and all those things. So Cancer, if Jupiter is placed in Cancer, it's one of the best places. But if it is placed in some other sign, like say for example in the sign of Capricorn, where Jupiter is not so good, it is called Neecha. So the effects may get diminished, but again you will have at least a small house or some kind of a kacha house, which will be beneficial. So let's move to the next chart. So we can also correlate various body parts to to various lagna, and in the sense what I mean is basically you can correlate your chart to that of body parts. So any chart, this particular chart can be anything. So your first house, can be anything. It could be number 1, number 2, number 3. I am just, saying this first house. Suppose in your chart it would be maybe fifth house, Simha Lagna. For some other person, it could be Rishabha Lagna. So this chart is applicable to everyone. So anybody who can apply this particular, uh, the position of planets, and this chart, wherever the body parts are denoted, can easily read from their chart how and what planets are affecting which body part. So the first is head, and brain. It calls, it gives you some understanding of what your lagna denotes. The second house is generally your throat, right eye, teeth, and this generally it denotes your neck portion. The third house is basically your shoulders, the shoulder side of it, that is, and also your right ear. Now, the fourth house denotes your chest, lungs, another area. Fifth house is for your stomach. So, sixth house is, large intestine, kidneys. Seventh house is your private part, basically your sexual parts, your uterus, your lumbar. Eighth house is your hips, and for it denotes, and scrotum, which is there in human beings. So this is applicable to both male as well as female. So you can refer and see for yourself. Ninth house denotes your thighs. It gives your thighs area. 10th house denotes your knees, joints, bones. 11th house is your left ear, and 12th house is your left eye and feet. So how this chart is important. So in these current times, everyone is having a lot of problems in one way or the other. So suppose you have some issues, and or you're going to have some issues. Maybe you're young and you want to plan for your future and you want to save one. So you can be careful about which part of your body is getting affected. Suppose a very bad early position planet is placed in 12th house. So you got to take care of your left eye and feet. Suppose a very badly positioned planet is placed in your fourth house. So then your heart, your chest, lungs, may get affected. So you can easily make out and understand how and which part of your body is getting affected, and you can accordingly take various precautions, and also with little bit of thought and intelligence, you can overcome it. And also always remember, correlate your present position with dasha and bhukti, and try to understand how your present dasha and bhukti is going to affect your current scenario. So I just want to share the purpose of this video. So you can correlate, all these things to real life events. So you need to understand what dashas, antardashas, and even gochara positions like present position of planets to really get benefited, after doing this analysis. Also, you can learn about your existence in this earth. I mean, why you are born. Your lagna tells a lot of things about you, and your planetary position also tells you a lot of things about you. Position of Saturn, position of Jupiter. So they all give you some indications. Try to use it to your understanding. Thirdly, aware of virtual change and mystic linkages. So many times we fail to understand what is happening around you. We always, think about ourselves a lot, and we always think we are the most, suffering personality in the world and other aspects. So never ever get into that kind of a mindset. You try to decode the virtual chains that are trying to, make you do particular actions. Strengthen your areas of life. Yes, I've touched upon how, your areas of life are affected by various rashis and, your houses of body parts and other things. So you need to understand that and try to focus on strengthening that area of your life. And lastly, I always wish progress and prosperity for all of you. Try to use astrology more like a tool to decode your life rather than trying to be seeing as a question and answer or result oriented. So nothing happens like a if planet is there, it's going to happen. You have to live your life in a particular way to achieve those results. So always remember, it's all in your hands, and destiny is defined and shaped by you. That's why you have been built with something called brain in your mind, which can be trained and nurtured to meet your expectations. So this is what I wanted to share in this video. So next video, it's going to be about rashis. So I believe you may have liked this particular video, and I thought this video acts as a basis if we have to go to rashis. So I will make it more interesting, and hope this video has given you some indication about what it is about your chart. And when we learn about rashis, it will be even more interesting. Thank you so much.